True stories that still don't make any sense. Most people think becoming a millionaire is slow. Years of grinding, years of sacrifice, years of being invisible. But every so often, reality does something strange. It breaks its own rules. Not gradually, not politely, overnight. These are not motivational myths. These are documented, real stories where money arrived so suddenly it shattered the lives that came before it. Let's start with one that still makes economists uncomfortable. In the early 1980s, Ronald Read was a janitor and part-time gas station attendant in Vermont. No flashy lifestyle, no financial education, no business empire. He drove a used car, repaired his own clothes, and lived modestly until the day he died. When he passed away in 2014, people assumed his estate would be small. They were wrong. Ronald Read left behind over $8 million. What made this strange wasn't just the number, it was how it happened. Read didn't trade stocks. He didn't speculate. Decades earlier, he bought single shares in companies that paid dividends, companies like General Electric and Dow Chemical. He reinvested those dividends patiently, quietly, and without attention. No one noticed. Not his neighbors, not his co-workers, not even his family. To the outside world, nothing had changed. But financially, something extraordinary had happened. He didn't feel rich. He didn't act rich. Yet overnight, on paper, he became a multimillionaire without ever meaning to. The wealth appeared all at once, but the process was invisible. That's a recurring pattern you'll see again and again. In 2009, a Norwegian student named Christopher Koch bought Bitcoin, not because he believed in crypto, not because he was chasing wealth. He was curious about encryption. He spent $27 and forgot about it. Years later, he stumbled across an old email, an email confirming his purchase. At that point, Bitcoin had exploded in value. His forgotten experiment was now worth over $850,000. He sold enough to buy an apartment in Oslo outright. Think about that. One forgotten decision, one ignored email, one accidental hold. Overnight, his financial identity changed. No preparation, no emotional readiness. Which raises a question few people like to ask. Does money arrive when we're ready? Or when we stop paying attention? In 2012, a man in California noticed something strange. A company had accidentally listed a pricing error on its stock offering. Most people ignored it. Some thought it was a scam. He didn't. He bought in immediately. By the time the error was corrected, his position had skyrocketed in value. Within days, he had crossed into seven-figure territory. No insider trading, no illegal moves, just awareness, speed, and the courage to act when things didn't look normal. These stories share something unsettling. None of these people were chasing wealth. They weren't manifesting millions. They weren't visualizing abundance. They simply noticed something others missed. And when the moment came, life changed faster than their identity could catch up. Which brings us to the stories that don't just involve money. They involve shock. Here's the part people don't talk about. Overnight wealth doesn't feel like winning, it feels like whiplash. And nowhere is this clearer than in lottery stories. In 2002, Jack Whitaker won $315 million in the Powerball lottery. At the time, it was one of the largest jackpots in history. He was already comfortable. A construction business owner, not desperate, but nothing prepares you for that number. Within weeks, he was robbed multiple times. His family relationships collapsed. Lawsuits appeared from nowhere. Despite the money, his life spiraled. He famously said later, "I wish I'd torn the ticket up." This wasn't a financial failure. It was an identity collapse. Money arrived faster than the mind could integrate it. Now let's look at a quieter story. In 1998, a Canadian factory worker named Alan Doyle told co-workers he felt certain he was going to win the lottery. Not hopeful, certain. He bought a ticket. He won $10.5 million. What makes this strange isn't the win, it's what happened next. Unlike most winners, Doyle didn't quit immediately. He didn't announce it publicly. He took time. Months later, he transitioned calmly into a new life, investing conservatively and maintaining close relationships. No scandals, no chaos. Same overnight wealth, completely different outcome. The difference wasn't luck, it was psychological readiness. Before we go on, I want to ask you something. Which of these stories feels closer to your truth about money? The ones where wealth is a tool to massively improve lives, or the ones where money can very often destroy people? Let me know in the comments below. I will read them all, and your answer helps us guide future Legacy Code videos. Now let's move into the strangest category of all. The people who didn't just stumble into money, they walked away from it. Sometimes the strangest overnight millionaires are the ones who reject the outcome. In 2010, a young programmer named Patrick Collison sold his startup. Almost overnight, he became a millionaire. Then he did something unexpected. He donated the majority of his wealth to causes he believed would outlive him. No press tour, no luxury phase. His reasoning was simple. I didn't want money to decide who I became. That sentence should make you pause. In 2011, a woman in California bought an abandoned storage unit for a few $100s. Inside were documents, old ledgers, hidden cash accounts. After legal proceedings and verification, the contents were valued at over $7 million. Overnight, her life changed. But instead of upgrading her lifestyle, she spent years navigating legal battles, pressure, and stress. Later, she said something revealing. I thought money would feel lighter. It didn't. Because money doesn't come alone. It comes with attention, responsibility, expectation. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Overnight millionaires aren't rare. They're just invisible until the moment arrives. What determines whether wealth becomes a blessing or a burden isn't the amount. It's the inner structure of the person receiving it. Money amplifies. It doesn't fix. It doesn't guide. It reveals. That's why some people rise and others collapse. And that's why the real legacy isn't the money. It's the identity that meets it. If this video resonated with you, give it a like and subscribe so we can continue this journey together.